Hey guys, welcome back to another impressions video, this time around for River City Tokyo Rumble for the Nintendo 3DS. A game that I beat last year in 2016, but I'm still trying to catch up with all my impressions videos. I've been slacking making content as of late for my channel, but here it is, my quick thoughts and impressions on River City Tokyo Rumble, which it's going to be a quick video because essentially this is a very quick game. You can easily beat this game. I would say between 3 and 6 hours, depending if you guys decide to do side quests. Myself, I only did a few of them. It's not necessary to do the side quests, and in fact, I would probably discourage you guys from doing them because they're very repetitive. It's basically the same thing. You have to do exactly what you have to do for the story mode anyways, which is just beat people up. You know, this is a classic beat 'em up game that follows the footsteps of the classic NES game River City Ransom, which a lot of people have, very many fond memories of that game. Not necessarily me, because I was never big into the NES, but I know that's one of the most highly regarded games from the late 80s on the NES. And the Kunio-kun series is very interesting because it was never really popular here in the West, but in Japan, I think it was popular enough where they have their own manga and anime, I think. So I'm not a big fan. Obviously, I obviously own this game and a couple of other Western releases like this one, which is River City Super Sports Challenge on the DS. And this is a series. Tokyo Rumble basically follows the footsteps of the NES game, in which it's a beat 'em up with some light RPG elements in which you can level up your character, make him stronger, use different types of weapons, and you can pair up with different characters or NPCs that you can talk to into joining your team throughout the story mode, and they can battle alongside you, and which is basically just an AI companion, which is useful in order to distract other enemies. But unfortunately, I don't think you can play this game with another person, or if you can, I don't think there's online compatibility with this game, which kind of, it's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Now, the graphics in this game, they pay direct homage to the NES River City Ransom game. It's a very old school, 8-bit type of looking, sprites and textures, and which is pretty cool. And using the 3D effect in this game is actually pretty fun because you can, you can see actually the difference between the background and the characters. So it's a very pleasant 3D experience on the 3DS, in my opinion. So I played the most of the game actually with the 3D slider all the way on, which is pretty cool. As I mentioned, the game is pretty short, 3 to 4 hours. That's what it took me to beat the game, at least. I didn't really bother with the side quests because, again, they're very repetitive, and this game becomes repetitive really quick. Being a beat 'em up, you get to learn moves later on in the game. You can buy scrolls where you can unlock different moves, but in all honesty, you can just beat just about any enemy in the game using your regular punches and kicks and moves that you learned early on in the game, and combos and whatnot. So not a whole lot of depth and variety in terms of gameplay. The cool thing is this game does include the dodgeball game as a side quest, and also as a separate mini game that you can access from the main menu. For those of you that are familiar with the Kunio-kun series, they're not only beat 'em ups, but there are also other, I guess, branches of the game. There are soccer games out there. There are dodgeball games, and this is one of the examples on the DS. This is the Super Sports Challenge game, which is kind of like an obstacle race, which was pretty fun game, and one of the few Western releases of the Kunio-kun games. And so it does have that, the dodgeball game, and there's another fighting type of mini game that you can play. But for the most part, this game is starving a little bit in content. So keep that in mind when you make your, if you guys decide to purchase this. So I can't really recommend this game because of the repetitiveness of the gameplay. if I were to recommend this game, it's definitely aimed at those that really enjoyed River City Ransom. So you're gonna have a lot of nostalgia trips thanks to this game. And also, I guess this game is recommended if you guys are a fan of the manga and anime of the Kunio-kun character, which again, I'm not familiar with those. I never, read the manga or anything like that, but I know it's out there. So, if you guys enjoy that, you may enjoy this game. And finally, this is recommended to collectors for the Nintendo 3DS because, the game retails at $30, but the price is already going up. And supposedly this is like a low print run. It has the potential to become one of the, I guess, uncommon games for the Nintendo 3DS. So if you guys are into collecting physical Nintendo 3DS games, make sure you take a quick look at this and get the game sooner rather than later, because the game is already going up in price slowly but surely. And myself, I decided I was interested in the game. It looked charming with with the retro look, the 8-bit look. So I knew it had the potential to become uncommon, so I just pulled the trigger and got the game on day one. So again, if you guys are interested, if you guys are fans of the Kunio-kun series or the NES River City Ransom game, this is definitely a recommendation. But if you guys are not really interested in any of those things, this is a pretty somewhat bland beat 'em up on the 3DS that I can't really recommend, because the game is short, it's very repetitive, and it doesn't really offer that much in terms of gameplay depth, if you will. So that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game or this impressions video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.